turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and
This is Ice-T,
Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
Matty Ice.
This is a cold call.
I convinced NFL teams to turn to cold water washing with Tide.
the NFL.
I convinced NFL teams to turn to cold water washing with Tide.
The NFL.
my mic. Oh, damn. Okay. All right, you guys can hear me now. Cool. I'm telling you, man, every time that I start a live stream, there's always something going on with the mic and stuff, you know? That's just because of like, what do you call it? That's the life of a live streamer, I guess. So probably should turn this on. All right. So originally I wanted to go live to talk about Bullet Club and Impact and other wrestling stuff, but of course, first I have to really how can I say this? I think I gotta change Raid Shadow Legends because I'm not doing Raid Shadow Legends at the moment. Which, by the way, that was a successful sponsorship that I got. I still am thankful for Raid to be sponsoring myself, the live streams and just the overall content that I put out there because I put out a lot of content, a lot of original content with very what do I want to call it? I'm very straightforward with my stuff. I'm very opinionated. I said this last time. I'm always going to be opinionated no matter what. If I side with somebody with my opinion, it's my opinion. But first, I want to say that, a friend of mine who's also another podcaster, and I've been on his podcast, a couple of times. I want to give a shout out to Duke. Because Duke is definitely right. I usually end up getting, a lot of heat for some stupid reason for having an opinion. And Duke is like, he never really wants that heat from me. But I told him that, I make amazing dinners. So, the heat is totally okay. I'm okay with, getting burned in the kitchen. I have no problem with that. I've got burned many times in the kitchen. Even like, accidentally cut myself in the kitchen. So, getting heat from other wrestlers is totally okay. And you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Again, guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, you guys should be following me on Twitter. It's at Maria_Shadows. I am not shy about it at all. Like, I love professional wrestling. I love that I can make or even attribute to having professional wrestling be better than it was yesterday. That's my whole entire thing about having a podcast. And by the way, I've been having a podcast since 2019. And I have over 5,000 listens. And that's still greater than like 2.0. So here's the story, right? I am probably going to get their name wrong, but I'm probably going to just say it the best that I can. So, as we know, Gabriel Kidd is over in the UK and he's doing some Rev Pro matches. He had an amazing match with Suji and he has amazing matches even in his New Japan career. And I've always been a very huge fan of Gabriel Kidd. I had, talked about his matches on my podcast or in my archives, anchor.fm/Square Circle podcast. So, you guys can go listen to that. And I've always been like a champion, sort of, but that may not be the right word. But I've always pushed him to be like, get on the bandwagon now because Gabriel Kidd is so good. And after him graduating after being a young lion, yeah, he's that fucking good. And I wouldn't tell people to just follow a wrestler just to follow a wrestler. Like, no, there's like, I hold a standard up for like, a criteria for myself for like why I follow a wrestler. And then if somebody else is like, still trying to put in the work, I'll probably offer some advice. But back to the thing. So Gabriel Kidd showed up on Wresthings, which is like a take on like wrestling things, I guess. I don't know, but they are a British UK podcast, which is the whole entire podcasters are Black. They give their experience on the British wrestling scene over in Britain. And I hope I didn't butcher that whole shit. I think I really did. I think I butchered it. But they did a wonderful interview with Gabriel Kidd, and Gabriel Kidd was so uh heartfelt and real in his assessments, what he thinks, what he um does, and all that kind of stuff. And so uh I want to say it right. Wresthings, um, they definitely put out clips of Gabriel Kidd saying his opinion on certain things, and one of the things that came up was Daniel Garcia. And so, Gabriel Kidd hit it right on the head, and I agreed with Gabriel Kidd's assessment of Daniel Garcia. And so, I am in support of the podcast, Wresthings, and also Gabriel Kidd. And I basically just, tweeted out, a couple of times saying that Gabriel Kidd is over than Daniel Garcia. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, like, do we really remember much of like Daniel Garcia's stuff in AEW? I mean, the only thing that I remember is that he lost to CM Punk. And the equivalent to that will be Gabriel Kidd taking on Eddie Kingston, but Gabriel Kidd survived a New York beating, which is like totally different. So like I tweeted that, I have my opinion. I even ended, my tweet with that Gabriel Kidd is going places and Daniel Garcia is still in 2.0. He thought he was smart to come on my tweet to be like 2.0 is better than any amount of numbers anyone listens to your podcast. And then I had to take a picture of how many listens I get and be like, what was that? And then he tried to do ratio, deleted it. And then he tried to say I fell off, deleted it. Like, if you're really going to come after me for, not understanding that it's an opinion, everyone has an opinion. It's not just me like talking shit just to talk shit. If I wanted to talk shit, I could do that, no problem. But when there's an opinion and facts to back it up, try to come at me with something better. And then everyone who is on the Daniel Garcia bandwagon really do like baby grade sort of jokes, sort of jabs. And I don't understand it, but I get it. It's cool. But then again, he tried. He failed. He really did. And you guys might be wondering, like, oh, this might not be a big deal. It really isn't. But just to point out the fact that, Daniel Garcia vanity searches for people that are not with him. And if you're not with him, he tries to go against you, and then he tries to bring his brigade to, try to ratio you. Like, shouldn't you be working on wrestling? Shouldn't you be working on your craft? That's what like Gabriel Kidd does. At least, he gives us glimpses into like, what he's doing behind the scenes. So that way we know like, oh shit, he's working out. He's hanging out with the guys. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing the training of like a New Japan pro wrestling wrestler and still allowing us into his life. But most of the time it's like he's fucking training. If you're vanity searching to try to ratio someone's opinion, that says a lot about you than like someone else. Like, cool, we all have opinions. We all have a lot of things to say. But like, this is so great and funny. I find it very funny. And yeah, after I tweeted that I got 5.5 plus K listens on my podcast, the Square Circle podcast, the same podcast you guys are listening to right now, hasn't said anything. He's more than welcome to jump in chat the same way that everyone else is welcome to jump in chat. We'll see what happens. But, he tried. I'll give him that. He tried. But I am always going to be on the side of Gabriel Kidd because, like I said, I've said it many times on my podcast, Gabriel Kidd is one of the best out there. Like, I tell people that he's going to go places, and he's going places. And yeah, sure, Daniel Garcia, along with other AEW stars, can go and book themselves in other places. But like, how often does that happen? How often does Daniel Garcia get talked about? Not much. Everyone in AEW, I shouldn't say everyone in AEW. I mean, the AEW fans talk so much about these huge surprises. Those surprises that come in and get signed, all the younger guys get overlooked and overshadowed. So we just had the debut of Keith Lee and Jay White, and Daniel Garcia is nowhere to be found. And yet they want to hop on my opinion tweet about me saying Gabriel Kidd is way over the Daniel Garcia because he felt salty. Cool, man. You know, just continue to work on your wrestling. And if you ever want, my DMs are open. And if you want to come on the show and you want to give your side and you want to tell Gabriel Kidd, you know, some things, let me know. It's up to you. It really is. I just like, you know, I love wrestling. I love wrestling. I love talking about how to make wrestling better, how to improve characters and promos. And I think that's what you need. Because I still don't know your motivations. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what kind of character you're playing. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a ripoff of like Suzuki. That's the only thing I can think of, to be like, oh, well, Suzuki is stoic and, you know, he comes out, he beats the shit out of you and then he goes home for a payday. But, you know, I don't know what you do. I don't know what your character is about. I don't know your motivations because there's not much on you in AEW. Yes, you come out, you're a badass, you have technical wrestling. I love technical wrestling. I can talk and like break down a match better than anyone else. And, you know, you should probably get to know me because I don't normally just be like blinded by like star power. You know, I do sit here and break things down for fans. So that way, you know, they can understand the stories better, the characters better. I'm here to help professional wrestling and not just go along the bandwagon because that's the trendiest thing to do. I just go on my own accord, on my own drum. I do things what I do things what I want. No, I do what I want, basically. You know, and it might sound like I'm angry. I'm not really angry. It's just not really frustrated either. Disappointed? Yeah, disappointed that, you know, no one can have an opinion. And this is what, you know, the internet wrestling community like talks about. This is what the other podcasters talk about, that like you can't seem to have an opinion unless it's not with the group that you're going against. It's like you versus the world, and then it's also like you're either with me or against me. Well, I can't be with you if you really don't show me progression and character development. You know, Gabriel Kidd went through the whole entire dojo system. And, you know, for the longest, I thought like, you know, Japan doesn't really cultivate character growth like that. But I was proved wrong. Gabriel Kidd started as a young lion, and every single match he had as a young lion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he grew. His promo skills grew. And then the moment that he came back and stood in that ring and told everybody his story, and nothing but greatness has come about it ever since then. You know, that's why I sort of praise and push Gabriel Kidd, you know, and I understand his motivations. I understand why he's in the business. I understand why he does the things that he does. I understand his fighting style, his ambitions, his heart. But I really can't say that for Daniel Garcia. And if I'm wrong, if you're in the chat, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, I didn't decide to do this for Twitter because, you know, the kiddies wouldn't get it. Adults are talking. So if you are in the chat, just let me know your thoughts if you want to. But again, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Oh, cool. I am so sorry. It didn't pop up. Did it pop up on here? Can I read this further? No, I can't read it further. Hold on. Hold on. Uh, so this is a comment from Doughboy from Wresthings. Just quickly jumped on the show to show you some love. Thank you, man. Like, I appreciate that. Thank you for popping in to show me some love. Like, you guys, if you're still here listening to this or you want to catch this on the replay, but you guys did like a fantastic job with interviewing Gabriel Kidd, and like, that was really fantastic. And by the way, if I am mispronouncing the name of your podcast, I am so sorry. But I do think it's a very cool name. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. But again, like, those guys, you could tell like they're real. I don't know all their names. I just found them through this, and when Gabriel Kidd was also talking about, when fans online are like, oh, these are the four pillars, these are like the four killers and stuff. Oh shit. I'm sorry, he responded. So I did pronounce it correctly. Awesome, because I don't know. Yeah, it's causing a lot of good stir, but I always side with people who speak their truth, and I always side with people who are honest. And they don't want to hold anything back, because what's the point of like, lying if you're not gonna like be true to yourself and be true to everyone else? So yeah, going back to that particular video of Gabriel Kidd saying that he heard online about like the four pillars and the four killers and all this kind of stuff. I was, agreeing with him on there, and I don't know who it was, but it was on the side of where like Gabriel Kidd was sitting, and he was just like, he was saying the same thing too on like, their podcasts and stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate it when podcasters. Oh, okay, so it was Doughboy. All right, cool. So bro, man, like I agree with you with that. Like, I really thought it was kind of stupid to have like the four pillars. AEW is going to be 3 years old, and automatically we're saying that these are like the four pillars, but yet then Tony Khan is still hiring people, still having like surprise announcements, still like bringing in people. Like, when's the last time we talked about Daniel Garcia? Uh Hey, Black Kyrie, what's up? Wresthings is a great podcast. There's 6 members on there: Doughboy, Lucha V, NK, Sam Blacks. Oh, and Anna Rafi and Labs. Okay, so for the past couple of weeks, or it should be months, I don't know. For the past couple of weeks, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. I'm so sorry. But Anna Rafi has been like liking my tweets and like retweeting them. So I guess we have been acquainted. But yeah, so like, I'm not, what? I am so sorry. Anafi. Anafi? No. No, I'm gonna butcher this fucking name so bad. Oh my god. So it's like Narfi. Honor. No, because my brain wants to say honor fee, but it's not honor fee. You're gonna have to like send me a voice message somehow in order to like for me to really pronounce it correctly, man. I hate it when I mispronounce people's names just because like I don't want to be that person to be disrespectful in any way. Uh I'm trying my best here. I'm close. Okay. So it's Anarfi. Anarfi. No, that sounds bad. Yo, that sounded bad. It sounds like I'm not saying it right. But yeah, nah, but seriously, you're gonna have to really send me a voicemail or like some type of like, oh, I said it right. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Cause like, dude, my ears, like it just sounded wrong to my ears. It really did. It sounded wrong to my ears. Uh, but yeah, I am so happy that you guys are here listening to this. Because I just thought it was really fucking stupid. Um, I just thought it was really fucking stupid that, like, I have an opinion. I side with Gabriel Kidd because I follow Gabriel Kidd's career and I want nothing for the best for him. And, one of my goals one day is to really like meet him at like a meet and greet, give him a hug, and let him know that, he's worth it and like he's gonna be like the best thing in this business. But I just think it's very like immature to like vanity search. It's cool to like have a social media feud, but if you're not liking what Gabriel Kidd is saying, then why not tell Tony Khan, hey, can you get in touch with Rev Pro? Let me go face Gabriel Kidd and let me be face to face with him, right? Like instead he's coming after me and his followers are coming after me with baby stuff. Like, all right, cool, man. So yeah, I think that's everything I have to say on it. I did extend uh the offer of Gabriel Kidd jumping in the chat. Oh yeah. Oops. I did. I don't know why I said oops. So in my head I had like Daniel Garcia's name instead of Gabriel Kidd's name. But I offered Gabriel Kidd if he wants to jump into chat, he can. If Daniel Garcia wants to jump into chat, he can too. And I also extended him if he ever wanted to talk about this with me live for all of you guys. He's more than welcome to. I don't know if he's gonna do it because while we were having our little back and forth, he was deleting comments, and I'm just like, all right, man, cool, you tried, but my podcast gets like 5.5 plus K listens, so that's still bigger than 2.0. It's there. The offer is there for both guys if you guys want to come on and like talk. But then again, yeah, that's all I have to say because it's not really much. I can just say he tried. He definitely tried to try to start some shit, try to ratio me. But it's like, guys, you know what? For everyone that's here, right? For everyone that's here, I just want to say this. I am oh you should get on the Wresthings podcast. Flex, a content creator from TikTok, those great opinions. Well, thank you, Black Kyrie. Yeah, if we could ever set that up. Like I said, my DMs are open. I already follow Anarif. Arnarif. I'm telling you. Oh, come on, man. My internet. My internet. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. I hate this. So just everyone knows, I don't know if the picture is moving or not, but I am. Okay, cool. We're back in the green. I am on Wi-Fi. I'm not even hooked up to a wire. But yeah, Wresthings, if you guys want to, my DM's open. I'm currently streaming right now. I personally, right? I personally don't like to just throw myself at like any podcasters that out there, if you guys do enjoy the content that you watch and hear and see, and you love my opinions, my DMs are always open. I'm always willing to collaborate with people, but I'm not really going to just, put myself out there because I may not always be the right fit for, someone's podcast. But Wresthings, if you guys want to have me on your podcast, or if anyone wants to pitch my name, Marie Shadows, out there to them to have me on their podcast, then, let me know. Okay. So, like I said, I apologize if my stream goes in and out. Okay. I am on Wi-Fi. I haven't connected yet to the wire one because I'm not really gonna. I was thinking of doing that. I should do that. But I apologize. But yes, I'll just quickly repeat what I said. I'm not sure what you guys heard, but again, all right. You guys are gonna have to wait. I will be right back. I hate this so much. I really do. Ugh. Okay, so I am back because again my Wi-Fi like gave out and stuff. So I'm just like, let me hook up to the wire so I could talk to you guys. Apologies for like having the stream start and go and stuff. But yeah. Okay, for the life of me, I plugged in. You see this, right? This is an Ethernet cord. I plugged this into my laptop, and for some reason, it was on red. It wasn't reading the internet, and like it shut off the stream, I should say. So I don't understand how. I don't understand why. So just bear with me. I want to see if anything changes if I plug it back in. Okay, so nothing changes. Yes, it does. Okay, that's not what it's supposed to be doing. All right, we're all good. So look, on a live stream, you're gonna get me, Marie Shadows, 100%. Like, I'm not playing a character. I'm not. I am not like trying to get likes or clout or anything like that. Like, I'm just here being me, talking about professional wrestling because I love it. And I don't understand why the Ethernet cord is having a hard time. If I go back to the Wi-Fi, it's gonna have a harder time. This is just funny. It's on a Saturday, and like, I'm talking about this whole thing, and now I get problems. Man, because I get problems. All right. We're gonna try to continue this, all right? Because if not, I'm blaming Daniel Garcia for all of my internet fuck ups. That's what I'm doing. And if you ever see me, like this, where I'm just like poking fun at somebody, again, I am not upset at Daniel Garcia. I'm just disappointed. That's all I am. I am completely like disappointed that we had to have that exchange, and he thought he had a gotcha moment. But then again, I'm really not upset at him. I am just disappointed. So like I was saying, I don't know how much of the stuff I was talking about you guys heard, but like me personally, I swear, man, I'm trying to have a live stream. Thank you, OBS. I don't know what everyone else is doing. Okay. Me personally, while I like to do my own things when it comes to the podcasting community and making my own content, I do go out and like collaborate with other people. However, I just don't really throw myself at other podcast creators unless like I know them for like a little bit. And I know that my personality and my opinions may not go well with everyone's podcast. So that's why I don't just jump out to be like, hey, let me be on your podcast. Unless like I've seen them and I enjoy their work and then I ask them, hey, can I be on there? Let me tell you this quick little story that's like not really wrestling related, but it's related to podcasting and how not to ask a podcaster how to be a guest on their show, right? So if you guys don't know, there's this app going around. Hey, J-Rob, what's up? There's this app that I found through another website. It's called matchmaker.fm. Matchmaker.fm, like basically it's a UK brand podcasting networking app and website. So basically what you do is that you sign up either as you want to be a guest or you want to be a podcaster. You can do both because I have both on my profile. And so what it is that it connects you with other podcasters where you could be on their show, they could be on your show, and then they're just people who just like to be guests and like to talk, right? So I've had some pretty good people, contact me and stuff like that. But me personally, I'm not that confident in my ability to like interview somebody. But after me doing the live stream with Morgan and John for Thomas Island and talking about how we will book Shane McMahon, I'm starting to get my confidence in there. And I'm like, yo, let's do some random shit and let's, be on the show, right? So there's this one guy who contacted me over on Matchmaker. All right, cool, J-Rod. J-Rod is at work and he's just stopping by. I feel like he works like 24/7. Oh, come on, I'm in the middle of story time. OBS. I'm in the middle of story time. Go back up, please. Thank you, OBS. Like, OBS be doing this to me when I'm in the middle of story time. So, yeah, this guest comes in and he's like, hey, I found your podcast and I would like to be a guest on your podcast. Your niche fits my, I don't know, like what he talks about. And he tried to make it seem as if like wrestling has like a spiritual thing to it and like it can, but at the same time it can't. So he gave me this long big speech about like, why he wants to be on the podcast when he doesn't know anything of what I do. And so I really asked him, what do you know about professional wrestling? And he said nothing, but I can try to, talk to your audience about like achieving their dreams, the spiritual aspect of professional wrestling. And I was like, spiritual wrestling, like what is this? So he gave me an example of that. If he's singing in the square of where like he lives, right? He basically like, he got over the fear. He wrestled the fear inside of him to overcome and sing in the square. And I was like, no, listen, if anything, right? You cannot have the shadow of a doubt any type of fear of professional wrestling, because then that's how, you get hurt, the person gets hurt, someone dies, someone gets paralyzed. Like you can't have that fear, So I told him this and he's like, oh, thank you for the perspective. Thank you for telling me that. And, maybe next time he could be on the podcast or whatever it is. But he understood that, like, your feelings of like trying to spread your message doesn't always work on a podcast. So that sort of relates to me when I say I don't just go on anyone's podcast just because, or I don't push to be like, hey, can I go on there? If I get to know the person a little bit more and enjoy the work that they do, sure, we could collaborate. But I am not going to just be like, hey, let me be on your podcast when I don't really know much or anything like that. That's why I always say my DMs are open, talk to me for a little bit before like, we ever think about like, hey, let me be on the podcast or whatever. But yeah, that's just to put that out there. So again, that's going back to in the chat before Wi-Fi fucking fucked this shit up. Where Wresthings basically, Black Kyrie was like, hey, you should be on Wresthings just because of like, my opinions and like, wrestling and all that, that's great. Like I said, my DMs are open, so why not? I don't mind collaborating. I also don't mind having an opinion and talking about it in wrestling because that's what I do. I'm a podcaster for that reason. And if like I said in the beginning of this live stream, if I am able to make wrestling better than when it was yesterday by helping you improve your character, helping you have character growth, helping you think outside the box, because sometimes you gotta think outside the box. If you're not thinking outside the box as a professional wrestler, then you're just gonna be, pushed to the side and like be forgotten and stuff like that. Who are we more talking about in this whole entire feud between Gabriel Kidd and Daniel Garcia? We're talking about Gabriel Kidd because Gabriel Kidd puts on amazing matches. Gabriel Kidd, does what he says, and he's not gonna back down. He's finally coming into the person that he truly needs to be. And I was seeing that throughout his transition of being Young Lion to graduating. And every single time I was like, yo, he's going to break. He's going to break. And guess what? After he graduated, that was it. It was like, a burden being lifted off of him, because sometimes in like the New Japan dojo system, they really do place that sort of you are a young lion. You are, representing New Japan Pro Wrestling. You have these disciplines. You really can't break from these disciplines until you graduate. And the moment that they graduate, bam. Another great example is Master Wato. And he relates to this because he was in the same boat as well. Like Master Wato was getting better and better and better, but I had never really like believed in Master Wato until like, only recently, which is probably like maybe a little bit of last year into now. And then Master Wato getting that victory over Desperado, like that's really coming a long way from, from when he used to wrestle and like how he used to wrestle, how he used to approach matches and like always taking the pinfall and stuff like that. So like there's that correlation of character growth. Not many wrestlers have this like character growth. They think they do, but they really don't. Because if you're just going out there to wrestle, that's one thing, but if you really want, like if you're really signed to a company, you got to make sure that your character is evolving somewhere in your career, right? You can start out as like, all right, so let's just off the top of my head fucking plan this shit, right? Because people think that, I'm just a podcaster and, I just, I don't know, I don't want to say I have shit takes, but I really don't. I have strong opinions, that's one thing. But people just think podcasters just, talk shit. So let's just plan this out really quickly, right? If you are new, right, and you don't really have much of a following, if you're like a really newbie wrestler, you could definitely start out as like a rookie, right? That when you start out as a rookie, obviously you're not gonna win every single battle. When you start out, you're gonna have your wins and your losses, but they need to make sense. They can't just be like stupid wins and losses. They need to make sense. So, like, if you know that you're going against a veteran, to me, I would be like, yes, that is an automatic loss. But it's not going to be a squash match. It's going to be a really good match where it gets you over, and it gets over like your motivations and your ambitions and your frustrations, because you're going against a veteran. You're going against a veteran who's been there for like 20 years, 10 years, who's seen it all, who's been through it all, and they could definitely counter like the fundamentals that you'll go after them with, because again, you're starting at a rookie level. And then maybe like 6 months in, because you're like, I gotta train 6 months in, you change into I really don't want to use the word like mid card, but you get the idea. We're gonna use mid card for this like example off the top of my head. You go into mid card status where you're smarter than where you were before, and you're able to maybe one up a veteran. It may not be the veteran that like you faced when you were a rookie, but it could be somebody else that for sure that you can definitely like take on. So you're in this mid card phase, which is a really bad word or for this, but for the sake of this exercise, if you're in the mid card phase, you are smarter than what you were in the rookie phase, and then you're looking towards your future, right? And let's just say in another 6 months, maybe let's give that 12 months, right? Because you have a lot of growing to do, you have a lot of obstacles to overcome. So let's just say 12 months. In 12 months, you should already be at the level of stardom. You're not a veteran just yet. It could be just stardom. And then you basically are smarter than where you were a mid-carder and a rookie. And now you're able to beat veterans and you're able to beat rookies. But sometimes maybe a mid-carder can get the one up on you because, that's how it can happen. But like something like that for like character growth of like, you start out here, you get people to love you, you get yourself over, you do a combination of technical wrestling and flips because, I've said this many times on my podcast, I am more of a technical person than I am a flip person. But if you have the right psychology and you blend them together, you are golden for this business. This is why we always say that Kenny Omega is one of the best in the business, because he basically takes everything that he knows, puts them together. Be like Kenny Omega. Other than that, like character growth. And while you're growing your character from like the rookie stage to stardom stage, you got to work on your voice. You got to find your inside voice. You can't just walk around with like a resting bitch face, let's say, and like think you're going to get over if you can't really talk in the mic, if you can't back it up. Like, there's reasons why people gravitate towards like a Gabriel Kidd, a Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Randy Orton, Jay White, Tama, Kenny, Osprey. And I'm only naming these guys because they could talk on the mic. And they could definitely tell you like how they fucking feel. And also push the story that they're trying to tell. And if you can't do that within like your career, then like one is going to suffer than the other. Sometimes wrestling isn't just about being a wrestler. That's like the main element. That's like the overall thing. But wrestling is the purest form of theater. It's the purest form of theater. You either have a script or you don't have a script, or you're good at improv and you're good at making your friends look like $1 million and having us, the fans, sit at the edge of our seat in suspending our disbelief of like, this shit is real, this shit is great, and stuff like that. Like, this is why like I advocate for like a lot of different wrestlers to like be the best that they could be, but again, when you have an opinion that goes against, someone who doesn't put in the work as much, you get the backlash. But it's okay, you know, like I've dealt with heat. It's totally fine. Like, you know, I love this thing. If I didn't love wrestling, I wouldn't, you know, be talking in the professional wrestling world. And if I didn't love wrestling, I would have never made it to WWE. And that's one thing that like I wanted to do was go through my accolades, because obviously Daniel Garcia doesn't know my accolades. Gabriel Kidd is too busy training, so he'll hear this on a replay, and I'll probably talk about this on Wresthings if like they want me to be on the show. I have not checked the YouTube comments. I should have my like what do you call it? Restream chat open. I should. I just don't do it. So let's see if anyone's there. And then I'll run down my accolades of I'll run down my accolades. I'm gonna need to mute it as soon as it goes. Oh, cool. Okay, so Wresthings also said the same thing on my YouTube. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're on the YouTube side, yeah, in the beginning of the stream, I really did say that when Daniel Garcia tried to bring his brigade over to my Twitter stuff, which by the way, if you guys are trying to get a hold of me, I put that thing on mute. The biggest thing that people need to do in order to have like a very healthy relationship with social media is mute, block, and go. Because, you know, once people attach themselves to their idols, that's it. You basically didn't win at all. But this isn't a competition of winning or losing. It's a competition of just having an opinion. And it's not really a competition of having an opinion. Imagine that. But it's the idea of I have an opinion, so do you. That's okay. I could just keep on scrolling. Like I don't really have to get in on it unless like, you know, unless you know you want to really say something. So yeah, that was the only comment over there on the YouTube side. Twitter is here. So basically, okay, that was weird. Let me run down my accolades, all right? I went to WWE in 2018. I was their WWE Network logger, and that was my going to WWE was definitely my dream since I was 7 years old. And then, you know, managing to get my foot into the door, that wasn't really what I wanted to do. It was available, and then when they let me go, they did not want to put me into the writers department. I have been wanting to go into the writers department for years because I got my bachelor's in creative writing and I have a publishing certificate. And I also am writing a wrestling novel. This wrestling novel is not based on my life. This wrestling novel. All right, good job, OBS. This wrestling novel is not based on my life. It is a fictional wrestling novel that you guys can read over on Amazon. It is currently on Amazon Kindle Vella. I'm trying that out. There are other places for you to read it. Just DM me if you want to know the other places. So, yeah, went to WWE, helped out on the indies as well. I was part of ring crew, you know, taking tickets, setting up the ring, breaking down the ring, putting chairs around. If you're on my excuse me. If you're on my YouTube channel, I have vlogs. I have fun stuff there. So, you know, I have a lot of experience in the business. So it's not like, you know, I just decided to one day have a podcast because everyone is having a podcast and, you know, just to say what I want to say. No, it's not like that. You know, I started a podcast because I had the feeling to want to talk, and talking is a lot more better than writing because it's a lot more in the time, in the moment. rather than writing. You know, I write something, I send it out to people to read it. The world reads it, but then like no feedback. At least with like a podcast or a video cast, you know, I get some type of feedback, I get some type of interaction. Someone is saying something in chat, someone is either leaving a comment somewhere. So audio is a lot more faster than it is for writing. But I do have, you know, some articles here and there. I write articles for I write reviews for New Japan Pro Wrestling's new series Lions War. And that's been getting great reviews and stuff. So, you know, I put in the work as much as the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys put in the work. You know, but yeah, enough about that. There were other topics for me to talk about, which basically was about Bullet Club. And this is specifically for Smack the Raw Pod. I feel like I was saying it wrong, but it's Smack the Raw Pod. They are amazing. So Kyle wanted to know. So Kyle wants to know about the Bullet Club because he doesn't really follow New Japan Pro Wrestling like that. He doesn't really like know who's in Bullet Club. Because I asked him if he wanted me to say the whole history of Bullet Club, of how it got started, like all the founding members and all this kind of stuff. But because he said that he just wants to know who's in it, we're gonna go with what he said. So basically, and he's gonna watch this on replay. Hopefully he does. So Bullet Club was started in 2013. This year we're making 9 years. So our original leader was obviously Finn Balor, followed by Anderson, Fale, and Tama. So those were like the four that came in and started everything. Throughout the years, members switched out, and then they got like, you know, the Japanese guys in it. So like Yujiro came in. Trying to think. Dick Togo came in. Evil came in later. We have Jado in there. And then we had, you know, Gato came in later. Gato came in, sort of, I could say, with like Jay White. When Jay White betrayed Okada, when like it was Jay White, Okada, and Gato and Chaos. I guess that like Saturdays are not for streaming. Not at all. So yeah, so those are like all the members. Those are all the members of like Bullet Club, right? So like currently, I know you probably, this is still in regards to Kyle from Smack the Raw Pod. I know that you probably didn't watch the first ever Bullet Club Civil War. Oh wait, there's Chase Owens too. Chase is probably gonna DM me about that. I totally forgot about Chase. So yeah, so if you didn't watch the first Civil War, which by the way, like I hated that Civil War. Looking back at it, I'm like, that was the most stupidest shit ever. So think of Bullet Club now as in like it's being divided, right? Even though now we have House of Torture, which is Evil, Yujiro, Show. Oh yeah, Show's in there too. Show's part of Bullet Club. Listen, man, I'm gonna DM you so that I could be on your show and we could talk about Bullet Club like through and through, man. Like I'm gonna do that shit because right now I'm like I should have like wrote this shit down, even though I know it by heart. So now in Bullet Club we have like House of Torture is part of Bullet Club and they're still Bullet Club if that makes any sense. So like over in Japan, we still have Ishimori. Oh, Kenta's part of Bullet Club too. What the fuck? I feel like I destroyed the segment. All right, so it's half and half. All right, so Bullet Club America, we're gonna call them that over here. So that's Tama, Loa, got Loa too. Like, you guys better not come into my DMs saying, "How could you, Marie, for forgetting about us?" So over here we have Tama, Loa, Hikaleo, Chris Bay, Jay White. I believe that's it. That's everybody. We do have El Phantasmo, but I think he's currently still at in Canada after he left New Japan. So he's currently home. So yeah. What do you call it? So that's over here in America. So that's like the core for like American fans to like rejoice from. Over in Japan, we still have Gato, Jado, Yujiro. Oh, wait, and Chase is at home too, but Chase would be considered over here, even though he's going to be going over to Japan to like wrestle for the New Japan Cup. So let's add Chase into that. So like I said, Gato, Jado, Dick Togo, Chase, Yujiro, that's what it is. Ishimori, Evil, Show. So 7. Can I get it into frame? I could get it. No, I could get it into frame. 7, right? Did I miss anybody? So yeah, while Bullet Club over here are doing their thing, right? Over there in Japan, the 4 people goes by House of Torture. So that's Evil, Yujiro, Show, and Dick Togo. They go by House of Torture over there, but they're still called Bullet Club. Just so you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling does basically own the Bullet Club name. They trademarked it. That's why WWE could never use Bullet Club, and they came up with like the club. So if you were wondering for that. Other than that, for you to like really know who's in Bullet Club, the ones that like really matter, if you are not going to be watching New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's basically Tama, Loa, Hikaleo, Chris Bay, Jay White. Yeah. For like over here. I don't think I answered your question with justice. I really don't think so. But yeah, so Bullet Club is doing really well. I hate this. Bullet Club is doing really well, both here in the States and over in Japan. They're doing the best they can in Japan because they still have like certain type of like lockdowns here and there and stuff like that. I haven't been able to catch much of like New Japan Golden, which is their celebration of 50 years of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Congratulations to them. But yeah, so that was that topic for Bullet Club. I do like to see. I will be right back. So yeah, Bullet Club, that's that. I had originally put the stuff I want to talk about. So let's see. I finally caught up on Impact Wrestling. And man, um, I would like to take a moment to really talk about the main event that had Bullet Club versus Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Jake something, and who else was in that? Oh, and Mike Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey. He reminds me of like Bruce Lee, for the most part. Um, when he comes out and stuff. Mike Bailey also, like, he looks like he could go. He has some really great moves, a really great presence. And I think that Impact Wrestling is like always the really good launching pad for wrestlers. So if you ever want to try to get your character over or try something out, you go to Impact. If you just want to do it the WWE way, you just go to WWE. If you want to get lost in the shuffle, you go to AEW. And if you want to get disciplined and appreciate the art of professional wrestling, you go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's how, like, I consider those companies to be broken up. But yeah, that main event raised everybody, elevated everybody, and that's I'm part on both of their works. From Bullet Club being veterans, Chris Bay being the finesser that he is, and a very good student of the game. And on the other side, having guys like Ace Austin, who could definitely put on one hell of a match. Jake something is really coming into his own. So, I really like that he's coming into his own. Speedball, I would have to get used to him a little bit more, watch his matches a little bit more. I do know he streams, and he streams matches, and he goes over people's matches. Good on him for that. I give him props for that. But he does look like an all-around, like, fun wrestler to watch and grow. So, thankfully he signed with Impact. So, we'll see him grow and stuff. So let's see who else. Madman Fulton is really good as well. I can't wait to see him versus Jake something down the line. Now on the Bullet Club side, I tweeted this out very early. And again, if you're not following me on Twitter, follow me at Marie_Shadows. You probably should. So, I had tweeted out saying that I missed when Jay White, Tama, and Loa used to tag together, right? And they tagged together in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and this was back in 2021, when right after Jay White suffered his defeat against Kota Ibushi, did not get the championship title belt, and when he came back in February, he automatically went out to Ishii. So the three of them, Switchblade, Jay White, Tama, and Loa, going after Ishii, Goto, and Yoshihashi, they were really teasing for those 6-man never openweight tag team championships. And I'm like, yo, I can't wait until they like get those championship belts. It never happened. And so, I really think that New Japan Pro Wrestling dropped the ball with that. Like, I really wish that they would have had the 6-man never openweight tag team championships just for a little bit. It didn't have to be for the whole year, because then, COVID happened, and then like the lockdowns happened. Like, it would have been a little difficult. But then again, if they would have had it for maybe like a month or two, drop it back to Ishii, Goto, and Yoshihashi, that would have been fine also. So basically, seeing them tag team together in Impact Wrestling, doing those tag team moves where Jay White did a simple suplex to Speedball. Should have been Speedball. If not Speedball, I think it was Ace Austin. One of those two. And Tama coming over, doing his senton, where like he leaps in, does a senton, and so does Loa. And then Chris Bay doing his leg drop, because he had gotten the legal tag, so it was him to be in the ring. So yeah, I was like, man, I miss when they tagged together, and I wish they would have gave them the belts. That was just so smooth, so perfect. Um, I will say that right now, Tama and Jay are like the two that know how to do story appropriately and make the best wrestling stories. And I will definitely like believe it all the way through. And definitely, you guys gonna hear me break it down for you guys on my podcast because that's what I love to do. If I can help you guys understand professional wrestling a little bit better than you understood it yesterday, then my job is done. I just love talking about it and everything. So yeah, Impact is doing great with that. Today, Jay White is going to be at House of Glory to take on Ken Broadway, and that's going to be amazing. I wish I could have been there. I can't really be there right now, but that's going to really be amazing. Just put me over, guys. Put me over with Jay White. That's all you got to do. So, other than that, let's see. Talked about Impact. Talked about me being disappointed in Daniel Garcia. Oops. What else did I want to talk about? Let's see. Like I said, I haven't really been watching New Japan Pro Wrestling in a little bit. Caught up with Impact. So yeah. Let's see. Last stream I showed you guys a wrestling novel I was working on. It's not really say much about WWE. I haven't watched for like the past 2 weeks, and if I do watch, it's background noise. That's about it. It's background noise. I already ranted about Jay White just casually showing up on AEW, and by the way, have you guys like thanked him lately for giving AEW the 1 point whatever million plus views that Jay White got AEW? Because that was all Jay White. So like, please go and thank Jay White for that. And AEW fans need to stop saying to sign Jay White. Jay White doesn't need AEW. AEW needs Jay White. But then again, AEW doesn't know how to use their guys, and they keep signing more people. And yeah, I just really hope that Tony Khan does not fuck this up. Because Jay White should definitely be treated like the number one asset in all of pro wrestling. I do find it funny though that Tama had tweeted out about like burning bridges to like Tony Khan, like something like that. And then all of a sudden you see Jay White show up to help move along the Young Bucks and Adam Cole storyline until Kenny comes back. That's the only reason why they brought in like Jay White, is to move that along. Yeah, because if not, like, we probably would have never seen Jay White until a little bit later. Jay White would have still be calling people out on his US of J tour in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, they gave him Christopher Daniels. So basically, that's cool. But he wants like more competition, better competition. I do hope that in New Japan, they start doing more with Jay rather than him just doing the open challenge. If he would have still kept the Never Openweight Championship, which by the way, I'm still a little bit upset that they took it away from him and they gave it to Ishii, and now Evil has it, which makes no sense. But then again, we'll see what happens. But they would have kept it on Jay White. They definitely would have, his US of J tour would have been that much better, because then it could have been like, well, who's finally going to dethrone Jay White for that never openweight championship belt? If anything, New Japan Strong needs some more titles. They need a tag team title. They need another title just to hold them over, and not just have Tom Lawler to be like, I think he's probably their only and longest reigning New Japan Strong champion. Nobody over there has like challenged him as much. You know, hey, I mean, if Daniel Garcia is so worried about people choosing Gabriel Kidd over him, why not Daniel Garcia go, you know, to New Japan Strong, challenge Tom Lawler, and see if Tom Lawler will put that belt on the line and see what happens, you know? But I did say in the previous episode that, like, I want Gabriel Kidd to go for that strong title. But then again, you know, if all you gotta do is vanity search in this little mini war, why not just go do the work, show up at his workplace and challenge him and be like, yo, you gotta stop talking shit. Like, we gotta settle this in the ring one-on-one, man to man, you know, rather than trying to delete Twitter comments. Like, really, dude? But yeah, New Japan Strong. But yeah, I just don't want Tony Khan to fuck up Jay White in any way. I do know that it has been signed that on Rampage we're gonna see Jay White take on Trent. Jay White better not lose that match, just because, you know, he's the number one asset, and you don't really do that to like your number one asset or someone that, like, you know, you would consider the number one asset in all of pro wrestling. I can't think of anything else. I got out everything that I wanted to say. So this is definitely going to be such an explosive podcast episode. And, you know, for anyone that's listening to this on replay, you know, thank you for listening to it on replay. But it's always great if you can listen to it live. I announce, we'll save MOW for a proper podcast episode and a proper live stream. Because I just got reminded that, you know, MLW this week, man, that had me, but I was also like, I knew it. We're gonna be talking about the coolest it couple in professional wrestling. So stay tuned to that. But again, like, it will be great if you come here, watch it live. Always follow me at Maria_Shadows. So basically, you know when I go live. There's other places that you can definitely follow me at, which I'll tell you in a little bit. I do thank everyone that has come in. I do thank the guys from Wresthings to come back, to come back and to also say what's up. And yeah, their interview with Gabriel Kidd. Make sure to check it out. Post up your opinions, because, you know, opinions are just opinions. It's not saying that, like, you know, we're taking sides, like it's a be all end all if you have an opinion. It's basically just you having an opinion, having a thought, and, you know, not everyone is gonna agree, and that's okay. You can keep it scrolling, right? Like, it's not going to hurt you in any way if I say that I side with Gabriel Kidd over Daniel Garcia. I just see more of the work put in than anything else. So that's the only reason why I would side with somebody, is because I could see the work. You can see how they develop. You can see how they grow. And you can understand their character and be like, great, this is professional wrestling. And again, like I said, my job is to make sure how I can help professional wrestling be better than what it was yesterday. That's all it is. Okay. I'm just going to end it there, because if not, I'm just going to keep talking in circles and someone is going to point that out, and it's okay. I will say that I am not angry, upset, or anything. I'm just disappointed. But this was very fun to talk to you guys about the whole incident over on Twitter, and then, you know, going into my topics and stuff like that. So again, I am Marie Shadows of the Square Circle Podcast. I love talking about professional wrestling. I love helping professional wrestling in any way, shape, or form. And if that means to critique your character and try to make you a better wrestler than you were yesterday, then, like, you know, the offer is always there. The help is always there. You know, I'm very well respected in the wrestling business and the wrestling community, and I'm always there to help. I, you know, am selfless in that. I even help out my podcasting peeps because I love what they do, and we all need to start doing more positive things and just letting people know that, like, we're all in this together. We're all in this to make wrestling that much better than it was yesterday. If you don't like my opinion, that's totally cool. Don't vanity search. Just go and do the work. That's it. Hey, Mike World Order just followed us. Hey, I am just ending this whole entire live stream. I was streaming for more than like what it says. Yes, Mike is totally right. For you guys that are watching on Twitch and YouTube and hearing this on the audio side, Mike stays putting in the work. He does a lot of his shows live, and he's very consistent with it. And I also help out too on the Mike World Order, talking about professional wrestling news, you know, kicking it with the guys over there, and they've been super supportive. So for anyone that is watching this on replay and like hearing this on the podcast, go search up Mike World Order over on Twitch, and basically go follow them. That's all you gotta do. Go follow them. But Mike, I am ending. Yes, you guys could definitely see me on the show Thursday on their Thirsty Thunder show. That's going to be fun. You guys should definitely tune in for that. But Mike, I am ending the podcast now just because I have nothing else to talk about. I already hit all of my points, especially during the whole shit of Daniel Garcia vanity searching and trying to have a gotcha moment with me. He tried. I'll give him that. He tried. But when you are a New Yorker, you just got to think way better than a New Yorker. Because New Yorkers are savage. Okay? I'm just saying. New Yorkers are savage. We could get pretty nasty with certain things. Lady Switchblade is the human gotcha moment. I try to have my gotcha moment. I mean, like, I gave him a gotcha moment, and he's still quiet. I did give him the link to this whole entire stream and see if he wanted to pop up in chat to say something or wanted to come on and tell his side of the story of why he's better than Gabriel Kidd. Maybe next time. And by the way, Lady Switchblade is Mike's cute little nickname for me, which I have, you know, accepted. I like it. Yeah, this is basically like the ending. So again, I'm Marie Shadows of the Square Circle Podcast. You can find this live stream on twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows. And you can definitely find this over on YouTube, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. When you guys are listening to the audio version, it is going to be on anchor.fm/Square Circle Podcast. It's going to be on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music. That's right. My podcast is on Amazon Music and also on another network. And if you don't know, I am writing a wrestling novel. You guys can definitely go check that out over on Amazon and or www.ko-fi.com/Marie_Shadows. That is my Ko-fi page or Ko-fi page, however you say it. What it is that it's better than Patreon. It allows me to be the creative that I know that I am. I have a shop on there. I have commission on there. I have various articles. And membership tiers. The lowest membership tier starts at 99 cents. The highest, it goes to $12. So if you enjoyed this live stream, and if you enjoy my other works, please head over to www.ko-fi.com/Maria_shadows. Pick yourself a membership, or just give me a one-time $3 hug, and we will be Gucci. We will. There's a lot more exciting stuff, but again, I'm very open to like collaborations. Thank you again to Wresthings for stopping by. Of course. We always have to have the one when I'm doing my outro. Of course. Yo, buddy, you are way too late to the podcast. It's okay. I already posted how many listeners I got, so it's all right. Cool, dude. You're super late. So yeah, again, check this out on audio and video, and just follow me over at Maria_shadows on Twitter. And again, thank you to Wresthings for stopping by, showing me love the same way that I show them love for their amazing interview with Gabriel Kidd. And yeah, it is always going to be Gabriel Kidd over Daniel Garcia. I'm Marie Shadows. This is Square Circle Podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next one.